So if you've gone through the orientation video and you've looked at the syllabus for the senior seminar, you might be thinking, what the crap am I doing here? And that's okay. And I'm here to go through, maybe dispel some of the fears that you might be having. I'm not expecting you to know how to code. I'm not expecting you to know how to string together a bunch of APIs or anything like that at all. You don't need any special technical requirements in order to go through and do this class. We are going to approach, though, the idea of developing an app from a dreamer stage, where you're kind of a producer in a way. And, I'll get into that a little bit later on, but I just kind of want to go through and assuage some of your fears that you might have about what it is we're getting into, and maybe to put a finer point on it as well. Very little consideration is given to this whole concept of media applications in terms of scholarship. And there's not a whole lot of people out there studying this kind of thing. And yet it bears, I think, a lot of scrutiny, a lot of academic research to go through and see what indeed are the impacts and the effects of how we communicate through these types of applications. Now, I call them new media applications for a couple of reasons. One is there's always something new on the horizon. There's always some kind of new technology, some kind of new channel that requires some kind of a new algorithm or software to go through and get people to communicate on levels that we haven't been communicating on before. And you might be scratching your head on that one. We'll come back to that. The second concept is media, and I've talked about this ad nauseum throughout my entire career and throughout your career here too, I'm sure. And that's a word that has its definition becomes broadened almost daily, it seems, with the amount of channels that are added to how we transmit information back and forth. And that's really all it is that we're doing. Well, applications are that connecting point. It connects the technology, and then it connects the data that we're generating with technology, and then it connects where we might be living, and then it connects the needs that we have, and then it connects the pains that we're experiencing. It brings all these things together through certain types of nowadays rudimentary types of technologies, like an accelerometer or a global positioning device, or a barometer, or a thermometer, or anything that goes through and gathers data and allows us to use that data to make better informed decisions. You're using this all the time, and you maybe not realizing that when you're using Google Maps, for example, to go through and navigate from point A to point B. You might not be aware that that app is using data generated by other users of that same app while they're driving the same roads that you're driving. All that data is generated on exponentially broad levels, on quantum computing levels, with so much data that's put out there that we can see at a glance and immediately, which is pretty remarkable if you think about it, what the traffic conditions are anywhere in the world. Just based on the fact that all of these devices, like this one that I'm using to record this video, are uploading data, how fast that individual is going, or how slow, or if there are sudden stops, and the accelerometer is able to go through and pick that up. So that data generated by the accelerometer and generated by the global positioning device all comes together to give us information that we think we need. And we do. I don't know how we got along without it so far, up to this point, as far as commuting back and forth is concerned, or making a road trip or whatever. But now we're able to use that data to get there maybe faster, maybe safer, maybe more efficiently, using less fuel, creating less of a carbon footprint, whatever the case might be. I had a student a few years ago who, for his dream, as far as the application was concerned, he had a pain, he had a need. He at the time was the assistant coach of the women's softball team at Dixie State. And in his recruiting process, he wanted to know what a certain player's batting swing speed would be, and the bat's position in time and space, and the consistency of that, right? So he put out this dream to come up with an application that would be able to measure those things. A bat's speed, its swing at its apex as it comes around, the speed of that, and where that bat's position might be in time and space. Are they consistent in that swing and in the swing speed? Well, I happen to take him pretty seriously, and I purchased for him the hardware that would be able to go through and put together a device that would fit on the end of a baseball bat, a softball bat, and calculate those very ideas. One item was an accelerometer, another one was a GPS device, and then a motherboard to take that data and transmit then to via Bluetooth to an iPhone that had the software that would go through and interpret that data and then graph in real time and space, the speed and position of that bat. Well, we had another programmer go through and put that together, another student, put that together and came up with a functioning app. That was pretty amazing. To our chagrin, somebody had already beat us to the punch and had already patented the idea and put it out there. We probably should have done that research first, which is part of your research for what it is that you're doing. But nonetheless, we were able to identify the pain, take technological bits and pieces, no more than $35 really to put all this stuff together, and you'll soon be introduced to Arduino, who makes this kind of technology, and then use the data that those tidbits were able to generate to come up with something valuable. Okay, an ability to go through and measure a softball batter's swing, the speed and the position, the time and space that thing occupies. Sorry, my dog was making some funny noises here. She's sitting here right beside me. Does that make any sense? I mean, that's what applications do. And obviously the potential for that is excruciatingly enormous. And we've just barely scratched the surface, in my opinion. So a couple things I want you to do this week. One is to read the article about Happy and Utility, written by an applications innovator pioneer, a guy by the name of Om Malik. And it's on the module. Go through and take a look at that. And the other thing is a post. It's a discussion post. I want you to watch a video that talks about a number of types of applications that are brought together in making connections. And that's what I'm really more interested in. I'm not interested in developing something and going out and making $1 million with it. I'm interested in seeing and exploring and discovering what exists out there, what kind of needs exist out there that you and I can go through and study and figure out maybe a way to go through and make some connections to ease that pain, see what's going on there, all right? Yeah, hi. My other dog has joined me now, so that probably means it's time for me to sign off, all right? You'll have questions, lots of them as we go through this, and feel free to post them, and you know where to find me with that, all right? Thanks for watching.